Okay, so I made a post last night. It was just simple, which brunch did you prefer? And I had screenshots from Sabrina's birthday brunch at the Penthouse and just the boozy brunch the women had at the restaurant, with the major difference being the swapping of characters, where during the boozy brunch we had Fatima rather than Karen, and Karen did show up, but she saw the other girls and then, just left in a huff. Then in the birthday brunch we had all the girls, the original group minus Fatima. So, which one was better? Now, obviously, a lot of people picked the one including Fatima because, well, there is the character popularity factor to take into play. But I did see a lot of people say they preferred the birthday brunch. Now, some people said, well, yeah, I mean, the conversation there was more meaningful and whatnot, and it was great to see the original group back together. The boozy brunch was just more gossipy and whatnot, which makes sense. I can understand. But then also people who talked about the birthday brunch said, well, the girls were only there for like 5 minutes and they left. I mean, they didn't even really have time to cut the cake or anything. That's true. I could have, the scene could have lasted a bit longer. It would have been great. But I think one of the major factors, and this is not hating on Karen, but it's just stating the facts. When the girls are interacting with Fatima without Karen around, you can tell the atmosphere is far less tense. Everyone is free to speak what's on their mind. They can even have fun with each other. For example, when Fatima mentions Zach Jr., everybody bust out laughing. Everybody, even Fatima. Obviously, it felt like, Crystal broke character, but at the same time, we could all identify that, yeah, in that moment, Fatima would have laughed too, before getting the conversation back on track to talk about how she felt about it. Now, if that was Karen, it wouldn't work out that way because, as we saw at the birthday brunch, everybody has to walk on eggshells because they're babysitting Karen's fragile ego. Except for Danny, because she doesn't give a crap. She says what she wants to. And when Karen had to try to make the entire conversation about herself, talking about how, oh yeah, and then Zach wanting a DNA test, and Danny's like, well, I mean, what's the big deal? You had Zach and Aaron. Why not just do the test? What, are you on their side? Yep, there we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. Anytime someone disagrees with Karen or maybe offers a different point of view, you're automatically an enemy. You're not on my side, so that means you must be against me and you must be with them. Not going to lie, especially after the recent Club Shay Shay interview, Karen gives off major Monique vibes, where her only purpose in terms of talking is airing out grievances of how she was wronged without any sort of accountability for her own actions and the consequences of those actions. It just seems to me like the friction there in that scene validated what Danny was talking to Tony about a few episodes ago, after she felt some kind of way about, maybe I shouldn't have gassed up Zach to go demand a DNA test. And then she talked about how, look, I don't think what did she say? There'll be peace in the Middle East or Iraq before Fatima and Karen are on the same wavelength where they can interact without any sort of friction. And it's not as easy being friends with Karen as it is with Fatima, so we might have to choose at some point. This birthday dinner to me is just another example of how I think at some point they will make a decision. But then, of course, well, wouldn't that conflict with what the girl said about being there for Karen when she has the baby? I mean, they ain't blood relatives. Shoot. I mean, somebody piss you off, you just, cut them loose. Simple as that. And it just seems to me like Danny, I can honestly see her being the first sister to leave the group. Because at some point if there's anyone out of the group who I could see leaving first because they felt some kind of way about how they're treated, it should be Danny, because how come you all rush to Karen's side to babysit her ego, yet I'm not allowed to speak my truth or how I feel about something or just how I feel about y'all in general? When Karen is allowed to run her mouth, but the moment someone tries to clap back, oh, I got to stop before the friction gets out of hand and there's a fight. No. So I think if nothing else, Danny could bow out of the sister circle and just hang out with Fatima on her own accord. I'm surprised she doesn't do that already. Because I honestly don't see the link between Danny and Karen as friends. Almost like from Girlfriends, Tony and Maya. You could tell they're only quote unquote in proximity to each other due to their relationships with Joan. So I definitely feel like in terms of a good time, it's easy to see it was the brunch at the restaurant with Fatima where the girls could just cut loose. But the birthday brunch, obviously it was beautiful when the girls all said what they loved about Sabrina. But as a whole, it's like there's always the underlying tension of Karen's about to make everything about herself. And if you say anything to the contrary about her thoughts or feelings towards anything, it's going to turn into a mess. So, yeah, I think both scenes were great in their own way because it was just cool to see the girls hanging out because we don't really get to see that much. But this season does seem like it's recapturing season 1 where we're getting multiple episodes where the women are together, just like in season 1 when it just felt like we got so many episodes of the girls going to brunch, going to dinner, going to a party or whatever. So yeah, it's great. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which brunch did you prefer and why? Let's talk about it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.